or a pre good night to all of you because it is already more than 9. So I have been job to talk about the effect of the COVID period by prolonged sitting and disruption of circadian rhythm. So I will be sharing my slides. So I have been already introduced. So I will skip this slide. So I've been given the task to talk about prolonged sitting and circadian disruption as a cause of insulin resistance in COVID era. I searched the literature for any causal relationship, a study which could have done during this COVID period that the population which was very well controlled pre-lockdown and then what happened to the glycemic control post-lockdown, I could not find any such literature. But I will be sharing some scientific facts with you that how could this lockdown be detrimental to the glycemic control and overall good health of the population. So we all know that good health is an intricate balance of energy intake and output and a balance of sun synchronized living. That is chronobiology or chrono living. So what happens in the COVID era was that there was a prolonged lockdown. Again, we are heading for the same situation, and people were forced to live in a confined space within their apartment or in their house. And most of the people were not having sufficient space to walk around, to exercise, and that led to a decrease in the exercise, an increase in the leisure time sitting, and leading to positive energy balance. The diet remained the same, rather it increased with so many recipes being tried and cooked in the home because going out, eating out was all not possible. So a lot of recipes were tried and that led to this positive energy balance, the visceral fat, and that is going to be detrimental for the overall health. Scientists first noticed something was up in a study that compared two similar groups, the transit drivers who sit most of the day and conductors or guards who don't. So they were two group of people traveling on the same vehicle. One is sitting on the steering all day long while driving and the other is moving around. So though their duties and lifestyles were a lot alike, those that sat were about twice as likely to get heart disease as those that stood. So this was a interesting study which was published. And how sitting all day affects the life. More of the time you spend on the chair sitting or on the couch sitting, the neck gets tense and tight, trapezius muscles get strained, disc in the lower back begin to bulge, hip gets weak, knee pain develops, sciatica develops, feet become flatter, and this is how it overall impacts the body health. Over and above all that, prolonged sitting means very less energy expenditure, and that is going to cause a positive energy balance and deposition of fat. So how many steps do you really need a day? So this is a usual recommendation these days that if your steps are less than 5,000 per day, you are in a sedentary category. 5,000 to 7,499 somewhat active, 7,500 to 1,000 somewhat active, more than 10,000 you are active. So your goal should be to achieve 1,000 steps plus in a 24 hour. Now how to measure those steps? There are lots of gadgets now available, different types of watches available, Fitbit, Apple Watch, and very cheap watches are also there which can count your steps. So you just wear it when you get up and put it off when you sleep. There are smart gadgets which you can even put it on while you are sleeping that will record your sleep quality also. So with that, and it also reminds you every hour that 120 steps, 150 steps this hour you need to walk. So that is how this, or even in your mobile, you can download the apps of pedo counting. So take a break from sitting every 30 minutes is the user recommendation that if you have got a job of prolonged sitting like we, the physicians, the doctors who are almost sitting. So every 30 minutes or at least once in an hour, you get up, walk 150 steps, 200 steps, and then again come back, sit down and start your work. So, or stand while talking on the phone or watching television. If you work at a desk, try a standing desk. or improvise with a high table or counter, walk with your colleagues for meetings rather than sitting in a conference room, position your work surface above a treadmill. So there are so many innovative ways in which you can increase your standing time and walking time. So adverse effects of prolonged sitting behavior on general health of office workers. This is a paper which I would like to share with all of you. And this paper was a cross-sectional study including 447 Iranian office workers. It was a two-part questionnaire which was used as a data collection tool. The first part surveyed the demographic characteristics and the general health of the respondents, while the second part contained the Nordic musculoskeletal questionnaire, NMQ, to assess the symptoms. And what was the result? The respondents spent an average of 6.29 hours of an 8-hour working shift in a sitting position. You can just see that 8 hours duty, almost 6.5 hours sitting. The results showed that 48.8% of the participants did not feel comfortable with their workstations, and 73% felt exhausted during the workday because of prolonged sitting. And additionally, 6.3% suffered from hypertension, 11.2% of them reported hyperlipidemia. And the NMQ showed that neck, lower back, and the shoulder, almost 50% symptoms were the most prevalent problem among office workers. So now different offices, they are also working on this how to improvise the working pattern, the table, the chairs, so that most of the time the people are walking. So the conclusion is that sitting behavior has adverse effect on office workers. Active workstations are therefore recommended to improve working conditions. So during lockdown time also, what happened? We were mostly sitting either in the couch, in our home, away from work. Later on, after 1 or 2 months or 3 months, people started trying for telemedicine or some teleconsultation, doing some work, but that was also in a sitting position or watching TV in the couch or lying down on the bed. So that was the thing which happened in the corona times. Chrono behavior and health. This is very important. Chrono behavior means that working according to the chrono of the sun. This is what I would like to quote here is that this is Ashtang Hridayam. This is a book written by by Vangabhat about 500 before Christ, and it has got Sutristan in 30th Adhyay, which describes in detail about Dincharya, Ratricharya, Ritucharya, and Drav Guna Vigyan. So we are interested here in Dincharya, Ratricharya, and Ritucharya. Dincharya is 24-hour cycle. Ratricharya is the day cycle. The Ratricharya is the night cycle. Combine it becomes the whole 24-hour cycle. Ritucharya is how you should behave and act in your life according to the seasons. So this has been very well described in the ancient literatures, but we, the followers of modern medicine, we have never been taught about this Dincharya or Ratricharya, which we lack in our practice also. I will not go in much detail that how lockdown disrupted our chrono behavior, our routine, the day-night routine. You can just see, eat, sleep, and just see this all the day, eating on the beds, sleeping on the beds, seeing the various OTT serials on the bed, and then coming up with this fitness ki to lagi padi hai. This is what happened in truth. और ऊपर से वो विज्ञापन आता है कि भैया अभी आपने देखा ही क्या है, अभी तो बहुत से सीरियल बचे पड़े हैं, उनको भी देखो, रात भर जग के देखो, दिन में भी देखो. And this disrupted our total 24-hour living pattern. So now I will just talk about the circadian chrono behavior and insulin sensitivity resistance. We all know that we are governed basically by the sun cycle. The sun rises, we get up, the sun sets, we sleep down. This has been the usual living pattern of all the living creatures on this earth before the advent of artificial light. When the artificial light came into being, we changed our daily routine also. So normally when we get up in the morning, the suprachiasmatic nucleus in the hypothalamus, that gets stimulation from the light from the sun. And that stimulation is then transmitted through various processes like sleep-wake behavior, feeding behavior, autonomic nervous system, cortisol, melatonin, body temperature, to the peripheral clocks. So suprachiasmatic nucleus is the main central clock in the brain, in the hypothalamus, which is reset every day. This also needs to be reset every day. So it is to be fine-tuned every day with the sun clock, with the sun, after getting up in the morning, and that tuning, that fine setting or timing is then conveyed to the peripheral clocks. We have got peripheral clocks in all of the body tissues, gut, muscle, liver, white adipose tissue, brown adipose tissue, pancreas. You think of any cell, each and every cell has got its own peripheral clock. And that peripheral clock is synchronized with the main central clock, the suprachiasmatic nucleus. And the light of the sun is the main Zeitgeber, the timer. Means time in German language, and Zeitgeber means timer. So there are so many timers, like when at what time do you eat, at what time you exercise, the body temperature. So there are many Zeitgebers, but the strongest Zeitgeber is the light. And that maintains the circadian timing system. And what happened in the lockdown? Late rising, late sleeping, not doing exercise, irregular eating habit, eating in the night while you are watching the TV or the serials or the OTT platform, various series. So that caused disruption of the circadian timing cycle. How the circadian timing cycle or the circadian cycle or chronocycle maintains our health, I'll just talk about in few slides, and then what happened when we went into lockdown. You just said that the suprachiasmatic nucleus is regulated by food intake, energy expenditure, whole body insulin sensitivity, muscle clock, the liver clock, gut clock, pancreatic clock, brown adipose, which I've all talked about. So the suprachiasmatic nucleus modulates the peripheral clocks by these different mechanisms. The parasympathetic nervous system, when it is stimulated, it causes increase in insulin sensitivity and insulin secretion, while the sympathetic nervous system activation has reverse effect. And when we alter our living pattern, disrupt the clock, the sympathetic system is overactivated, and that causes resistance and decrease in the insulin sensitivity. So is the paraventricular nucleus, the hypothalamic pituitary axis. This causes an increase in cortisol. This will cause decrease in insulin sensitivity, decrease in insulin secretion. Melatonin, it is a under research topic, is still not very much clear. How does it help the insulin sensitivity? Growth hormone decreases the insulin sensitivity. So sleep, wake, rhythm through and physical activity, sleep, they will, if it is timely done, it will increase the insulin sensitivity. Food intake in short term increases insulin secretion, but in long term, if it is more untimely, there is excess energy intake, it decreases the insulin sensitivity. So the gut clock. Let us talk about the gut clock. In 2017, Nobel Prize was given for discovery of the transcriptional, translational feedback loop system and feedback loop proteins. These are the clock proteins which govern the local clock in the various organs. And for this, Nobel Prize was given for medicine and physiology in 2017. The clock protein ARNTL, PR, CRY, these are present in almost all the tissue. In the gut cell, when it is regulated tuned with the synchronized with the suprachiasmatic nucleus, it causes increase in the SGLT1 receptor, transport of glucose and galactose during the daytime. It is peak during the daytime. GLUT5 fructose, the breast border disaccharidases, they are activated more during the daytime. So the sucrase and all these are metabolized and they come into the gut cell, and then they are transported through GLUT2 into the blood. But when you eat in the night instead of day, these systems, they are not very well activated. So it is not well absorbed. And then you are taking the nutrient in the night, for which the body system is the various clocks of the liver and the pancreas, they are not well tuned. So they do not do well with the nutrients which are absorbed, and that leads to insulin resistance. And this is what probably has been taught in the Ayurvedic literature as Jataragni. I take these all SGLT2 receptors, the GLUT5 and the disaccharides enzymes as Jataragni. When they are prabal, you will have a good digestion. So it is said that जब जठराग्नि प्रबल हो उस समय भोजन करना चाहिए, और जब जठराग्नि मंद हो तो भोजन नहीं करना चाहिए. तो रात को ये जठराग्नि मंद हो जाती है और दिन में ये तीव्र होती है. ये मैं इसको इस ढंग से भी समझने की कोशिश मैंने की है. What the literature says, our Ayurvedic literature says that मनुष्यों के लिए शास्त्र में भोजन के लिए 2 काल निर्धारित हैं. साय रात्रि का प्रथम याम यानी प्रथम पहर यानी सूर्यास्त के बाद 3 घंटे, और पूर्वाह्न में भी सूर्योदय के बाद 3 घंटे. इस बीच में ये जठराग्नि सबसे अधिक प्रबल होती है. क्लॉक, जो लोकल क्लॉक है, वो उस समय सबसे अधिक बढ़िया फंक्शन करता है और उस समय सबसे अच्छा एब्जॉर्प्शन होता है. इस समय भोजन करना चाहिए. उसके बीच में आप भोजन करेंगे तो प्रॉपर एब्जॉर्प्शन नहीं होगा. दैट विल बी डिससिंक्रोनाइजेशन बिटवीन द गट क्लॉक एंड द मील टाइम. और ये भी कहा गया कि न्यूनतम 1 पहर मतलब 3 घंटे के भीतर दोबारा भोजन नहीं करना चाहिए. तो कई बार हम लोग कहते हैं कि हर 2-2 घंटे पे कुछ खाते रहो. डायबिटीज को हम लोग अक्सर ये बताते हैं. इफ यू आर telling your diabetic patient to eat every 2 hours, you are keeping the diabetic patient till he is awake in always a postprandial fed state, which I think is not good for the pancreatic health or the liver health. So, भूख लगे तो बात अलग है. Otherwise, within 3 hours, one should avoid taking meal, and one should not exceed 6 hours or 2 prayer without taking meal. This is the muscle clock. Again, the same clock proteins are here also, and they are also activated in a cyclic fashion. The muscle insulin sensitivity is high in the morning. The clocks works very well high in the morning. That is why probably if you do your exercise fitness program in the morning, it will be more effective. The glucose will be much better utilized and burned by the muscles through the mitochondria. The sirtuin 1 is the major protein which is involved in the activation of insulin receptors on the muscle through this gut clock proteins, and this is activated more in the daytime, and when the insulin receptors are more activated, more insulin is able to act. There is more translocation of GLUT4 to the muscle surface protein and more utilization of glucose. Again, in the white adipose tissue, there is a gut clock, a tissue clock. There is a tissue clock which is regulated by the suprachiasmatic nucleus and food intake, and peak insulin sensitivity is in the noon. So, evidence for a circadian rhythm of insulin sensitivity in patients with NIDDM caused by cyclic change in hepatic glucose production. This was the first paper which showed that even the liver has got its own clock, a circadian rhythm of glucose metabolism. And this hepatic clock also regulates with the same proteins, the transcriptional translational protein. And during the daytime, the mitochondria numbers are increased. During the night time, it is decreased. During the daytime, it is more insulin sensitive, and the production of cholesterol and VLDL particles are less in the night time when the insulin goes down during the fasting state. Then the de novo synthesis of the cholesterol and the lipid molecules, they are at their peak. That is why we give this statin in the night.
Dr. Alok, your time is up.
Just give me 2 minutes. Then there is a pancreatic clock which also works in the same fashion, and it is a pulsatile in nature. So what can we do with the corona time, with disrupting our clock, with the sun clock? We had a circadian disruption. We need to have circadian synchrony, which we can do by many ways, by light dark exposure, circadian molecules, sleep wake behavior, chronotherapy. There are so many things, and different molecules which I have just talked. There are more research going on that can we use those molecules as a therapeutic agent. That a person is having a night shift worker, but he can take that molecules, then the circadian synchrony will be maintained. So again, the insulin acts on the muscle, on the fat, on the liver. I have already told you. So many animal models studies many studies have also been done on shift workers, substantiating the same thing, that if you disrupt the circadian cycle, circadian behavior, you lead into insulin resistance, obesity, and then diabetes. So blue light is also indeed needed for good health, and this blue light comes from the sunlight. So early blue light exposure in the daytime is very essential for maintaining the circadian harmony and circadian rhythm. But this blue light exposure during the night time disrupts the circadian cycle. And during this era of computer, the laptop, the laptop, and the palm top, all these devices, they emit blue light, and they're mostly used in the night time. So the exposure of blue light during the night is not good for health, and for that one can use different glasses having Blu-ray cut coating, which are now available in the market. I will end my talk with a poem of mine. I've just tried to summarize all those things in a poem. सह अस्तित्व, the poem का शीर्षक है सह अस्तित्व, मनुष्य का सबसे भ्रामक मंत्र, हम हैं स्वतंत्र, जैसे चाहे वैसे व्यवहार करें, हम हैं स्वतंत्र, प्रत्येक पिंड ब्रह्मांड का, कण-कण इस खगोल का है निर्भर परस्पर, कर रहे परिक्रमा अपने अपनी गति और पथ पर, बुध मंगल बृहस्पति शनि संग पृथ्वी कर रहे परिक्रमा, बंधे सूर्य अपने सूर्य से बंध कर, पेड़ पौधे और जंतु को आपस में बांध रहा एक अदृश्य तंतु, और सभी बंधे सूर्य से, ब्रह्म स्वतंत्रता का कितना भी हो किंतु, सूर्य हमारा स्वामी कालत, मास्टर क्लॉक, सूर्य हमारा स्वामी कालत, हम उसके अधीनस्थ, जो हम करते आचरण विपरीत हो जाते रोगग्रस्त, चलो करें आज एक प्रण, सूर्य से मिलाएंगे अपनी घड़ी, मन आत्मा शरीर रखेंगे स्वस्थ, जीवन में लाएंगे खुशियों की झड़ी। इसके साथ ही वर्कआउट, सिंक्रोनाइज, कीप डायबिटीज आउट, एंड थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you so much, sir. I think it is one of the most lucid talks of the day. And what I can make out that what sir is trying to say that हमें अपने जगह अपने शरीर की सुननी चाहिए